Hi there, we're going to talk about projector parenting. So, I had a new friend reach out to me, and for the life of me, I cannot find her message right now. She has a big family like I do. I don't know if you can hear that. That's just two of my generators vocalizing. Obviously, my open throat one is the one who is the loudest. I really hope you can hear them. All right, so I wanted to tell you a little bit more about, since I've learned about human design, how I've changed my parenting. So if you want to know about being, I don't know, just look at my human design playlist, because that'll kind of give you some background on being a projector and parenting 3 generators and 1 manifester. So 2 things. My dad, actually both my parents were projectors, and my dad used his brain, and my mom used her physical body, and one of them's still alive. So I have this notion of protecting myself. It's a very real lesson. Protecting myself from exerting too much physicalness, on top of some medical issues involving hormone disruption and things like that. And so honestly, I have to be really honest with you. I'm a single mom, so, and their dad has some of them. We're kind of like a free-for-all with the kids, because they're at that age where everyone has their own opinions about where they want to be. So anyway, their dad does take them sometimes. And so then on those days, I sleep in bed. I stay in bed like a good part of the day. And whether it's I'm a projector or whether it's, I've basically been in perimenopause. I'm like 43, but because of my polycystic ovarian syndrome, I've basically been in perimenopause for like 10 years. And now my brain just feels pretty much like mush. So I actually spend those days that they're gone in recovery, trying to recuperate a little bit. And then now 3 of the kids have jobs, which I'm driving them to. I don't know. I'm going to make a statement and say loosely, I don't know that it's possible to be a single projector mom of several generator kids and be able to work a 9 to 5 job without dying early. I just don't know that that's possible. And so I was fortunate enough to have incredible foresight and joined a network marketing company with products that I still love. And I have been supporting my team mostly, and living off the awesomeness from their from how great our products are, while also learning alternative means of generating income through digital marketing and things like that. And so but when the kids are gone, there is a considerable pull of what do I do with this time, with this quiet time? Do I work? To which I feel like I really have no brain cells left to actually be able to create anything. Or do I like rest? And so I spend a lot of the time resting. So that is one of the things that I've changed in terms of um, learning that I'm a projector parent. Oh my God. All my kids are threes, third line profile right now, too. I don't know if you can hear this, but it's really loud. The other thing is, and I think this is the biggest thing. Now my kids are not little even more, but there was a point in which I had to say, okay, I can't, like I give. And basically, I I have very little rules, and I enforce very, very, I don't really have a lot of structure in the house because I can't enforce it. Three of my four kids are emotional as well. And two are defined will, and two are undefined ego. And so, schedules and committing to things are not really for us. So, honestly, it's summertime, and the energy that I do spend with the kids is about keeping them busy and directing their energy. So, like, you can clearly hear it's time to be done being inside. And the other thing that's really tricky, and I know this is going to change. Oh, there was a mosquito. Um, these two right now, they are in direct light, and ideally, it's really best for them actually not to be out in the bright sunlight. And we are not morning people by any means, but I also kind of am done parenting by the time 8 p.m. comes around. Well, I'm done with everything, not just parenting, but I'm just done. And so there's that reality as well. So usually 3 to 6 or 7, I am trying to keep them physically active and busy. My kids are 11. No, he's almost 11. My kids are 10 to 15. No, she's 16 now. Sorry. We just had summer is birthday, spring, summer, and everybody converts over. So, anyhow, I don't have rules and I don't have structure. And we go through purges of cleaning. So I'll set the timer and I'll say, all right, we have 10 minutes to clean. And sometimes I do that before I let them have food. Like, that sometimes that's the only way it gets done. Last night, one of my generators was like, hey, he wanted to make dinner, and I said, oh my God, that's amazing. And he's like, yeah, I know how to cook. It's just I don't like to cook. And I looked at him kind of off the cuff, and I was like, do you think I like to cook? I hate cooking. Like, I don't like to cook. You know, so sometimes I have to, obviously do things I don't like. And so allowing them to take some ownership in that area. I finally have like the trash established, taking out the trash. And then basically, I outsource them doing things for me by like saying, okay, in 10 minutes, we're going to go here. But before we do, we have to do a massive purge or clean, or here's your new clothes. But you have to bring me a bag of your too small or too tiny or clothes that you don't like clothes. And so there's a lot of rewards like that kind of thing as a way to maintain like a clean house, a cleanish house. And then they experience a lot of natural consequences in terms of their behavior and their actions and things like that. And so, I just read a raw quote about being in this experiment and how selfish it actually is. And that was somewhat relieving because, when I came into parenting, I had this vision for what I want, the kind of parent that I wanted to be, and the kind of parent that my parents were to me. And I feel like my parents were incredible parents. Yes, there was a lot of emotional stuff that they were learning, that they had to outgrow from their parents' parenting. And, so my brother and I, sat through some of that. But now, thanks to my friend Andrea, who's really been a mentor to me, releasing my dad, who's still alive, to and seeing him and how he showed up as his true self as a parent, it was all he could do. And I didn't have like warm, squishy feelings about him. And in my head, I wanted to, like romanticized version of father-daughter relationships. I didn't have that, and I still don't. But I do have a mutually respectful relationship with him, and I think that that's really important. And of course, I love him. He's done so much for us in the way that he can. And, he's a 6 too, so that's really interesting. Seeing him be the role model now, and how not just me, but several people, watch my dad and listen to him when he talks, and he's still living true to himself. And that means sometimes he has boundaries of what he's willing to do and what he's not willing to do. And sometimes that's inconvenient for me. Or that is like, I'm not grumbly about it, but I'm like, but the deal is he's being himself. Like, that's who he is. And he's not willing to change that for people, even his daughter. And so, that is the great lesson for me. And I've had to tell my kids, no, I'm not going to do that right now. And I can't be who you want me to be. My generator daughter, my number 3, she has visions of kind of, I think like I did, of the type of relationship she'd like for us to have. And I simply cannot keep up with her and everything that she wants to do. And, so does that mean that she goes with other people and does those things and has those experiences with maybe friends' parents? Yeah. That's okay. Those are things that I have to release and let go of. And so, because really the best way for me to parent the kids is to be my true self, because that's when I'll have the most energy for them. That's when I'll have the most insight and the most wisdom available to them. That's when I can be at my best, is when I'm being and living like a projector. And, um, you know, it's been interesting to watch. They're teenagers now, almost. All of them are teenagers. And it's been interesting to check myself in terms of waiting to be invited to speak about subjects. So there's a lot of commentary that happens in the car, when we hear a sound or we hear a song on the radio, or the newscaster will say something. And so, there's a lot of commentary, and I'm not sure actually if it's been all good for me to just speak out necessarily about what's happening and what's going on, because I do see some black and whiteness in some of my kids that is a little concerning. And I don't know that that's necessarily for them, but that sure does look an awful lot like me and sound an awful lot like me. So I'm seeing a little bit of the consequences of me perhaps having spoken without being invited to speak, or commenting without having been invited to comment. So that's something that's kind of on my heart recently, now that my kids are like older and kind of speaking for themselves. Hearing them repeat the things that I say, I don't necessarily want that for them, because I'm not sure that I'm right about everything. And but as a journalist, I do love the marketplace of ideas as well. So I feel like being exposed to lots of ideas and sifting out what works for them and their own design is beneficial. So anyway, hopefully this has been helpful, and I'm going to go because it's been pretty long. So thanks so much for watching. And I love your questions because they help me talk about what you want to hear from me. So keep asking questions.